He was counseling her?
What I'm hearing, he was providing counseling for her, and something didn't sit right with her.
Former Covenant school pastor Jim Bachman says Hale appeared to be searching for Scruggs when she went through the school.
Is it me, or is this just in poor taste? Day of vengeance. Details as activists say we choose to fight.
Ruslan.
Did the Nashville situation that happened recently, did the person who led the charge against that school target the pastor? Adding to the potential theory that seems to be more than a theory that this was a Christian hate crime. Inside Edition reporting. Let's jump right in.
No official motive in the case of the 28-year-old who killed 6 people at the Christian school she once attended in Nashville. But one theory holds that she had targeted this man, the church's lead pastor, who's said to have been counseling her. He wasn't there at the time, but his 9-year-old daughter was, and she became one of the victims. Ann Mercogliano has more.
Was the Nashville targeting the school pastor and his family? Inside Edition has learned that who was believed to be having counseling sessions with Chad Scruggs. He was counseling her?
What I'm hearing, he was providing counseling for her, and something didn't sit right with her.
Former Covenant school pastor Jim Bachman says Hale appeared to be searching for Scruggs when she went through the school. She shot Scruggs' 9-year-old daughter, Hallie, dead.
Jeez Louise, man. What a complete L.
Devastating.
What a complete L. And this is the pastor that was counseling her. And so they're thinking that she was looking for him and instead went after the little girl.
Regardless of what this person is going through, what she did was wrong.
Right.
So there's some, I know that a bunch of you are asking yourselves, well, what happened in these counseling sessions? You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm praying that nothing crazy happened in these counseling sessions. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, this little girl did not deserve to die.
Right. Right.
And that's me being charitable.
Yep.
Saying that this is me assuming there's no information out here.
Right.
That this man did anything to this girl but give her some counseling.
Right. And there's a manifesto that they may or may not release. So depending on whatever that says, I'm sure there'll be some more context to sheesh, man. And so
evil.
Yeah. I mean that's what it is. It is unregulated evil. It is satanic. It is demonic. It just sucks that the different spin around this, you know what I mean? And the different, like, from both sides, by the way, because there's folks that are instantly saying, well, it's because this person's, which I'm sure had a part to play in it, you know what I mean? And they're trying to score political points. And then the other side is like, it's the guns, take the guns. It's all about the guns. And it's like, yo, like, I don't know if either talking point is the thing to say. If we're looking at the motives, it seems like there was some sort of motive to specifically go after this school, and that's terrible. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
And by the way, guys, I don't have any problem with people having the right to conceal and carry. I just don't like guns personally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Yeah.
I am entitled not to like guns. I see the chats going, I think everybody should have a gun. I was like, I don't want one.
Yeah,
I'm a nice guy.
I own a few, and I think they're a good tool. I think they're a necessary tool. So check this out. So segueing this into tomorrow or today, depending on when we're doing this, is it me or is this just in poor taste? Trans Day of Vengeance. Details as activists say we choose to fight. Okay, so this is happening, I believe, on April Fool's Day, which is a bit ironic if you ask me. Tomorrow, or April Fool's Day, April 1st, is the National Trans Day of Vengeance. At the weekend, have vowed to go ahead with the event following the school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, stating we chose to fight for change. The Radical Activist Network, a collection of transgender activist group, rejected any connection between their event and the mass shooting, which police said was perpetrated by, I'm not going to say this person's name, who was trans. The rally on Saturday is set to begin outside the Supreme Court and will protest the various bills in numerous states limiting gender-affirming health care. On Monday, they said that this person broke into Covenant schools, so on and so forth. And so they're hosting a massive rally about this. it just seems like the timing of this is terrible. In light of this and this manifesto and this pastor potentially being targeted, it just seems like it's in really poor taste.
It kind of sucks though, you know, like even if they're there to fight for their own rights to things that they believe that they should be able to get from a medical standpoint, this is going to influence people's judgment.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And it doesn't work. It's not going to work out for both sides. It sucks.
Yeah. So this was posted by B Chief, and this is a pretty. I mean, it is a Fox News article. Biden says transgender people shape our nation's soul in official proclamation, and he wrote, "This is why I say jokes about this madness are punching up, not down," because that's always the critique, right? Is if you're addressing anyone from the LGBT community, you're punching down. He's saying it's punching up. He says it comes from the top. It comes from power. Marginalized is the least applicable word in English for the people who enjoy this level of privilege and protection. Hey, you want to see something crazy? 67% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. Do me a quick favor, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date on all the videos here on the Blessed God Studios channel. It's kind of an L take, man. Shape our nation's soul, the implications of what these hormone blockers could do to prepubescent children, the fact that this is still uncharted territory, and that they're using very questionable data with self-reporting, that the folks who go through these transitions feel better in the short term, though the longest study done in Sweden finds out that they're actually not any more happy than folks who didn't, because in the studies here, they don't have a group to test against. It's just very unfortunate. And some of the rhetoric coming out from this community is like mad that this person has been misgendered. Like that's the real crime here, or that is a big part of the crime. It's just sad, man. And it continues. We continue getting more and more polarized, but it's almost like I don't like. It's like if you're pushed into a corner, you know, and you're like, yo, I don't think we should be giving kids hormone blockers. Well, then your friend's right.
Yeah, that's just crazy to me. Like, honestly, you know, and Ruslan, you and I, by the way, not everybody that sits on these couches agree on everything.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, for me, I'm like, hey, man, if you want the rights to do whatever you want, not whatever you want, but if you want the rights to death benefits, you want the rights to have a sexual change, that doesn't affect me, do you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, you know, at 8 years old, I wanted to be Superman. You know? I used to put a towel in my shirt and had a bag of M&M peanuts, guys. Okay? And I used to tell people, like, yo, I was a very creative kid. I used to eat peanuts and say, man, I'm going to be Superman. You know what I mean? And, you know, I would try to, like, you know, look at walls and see through walls. This is at 8 years old. And for me, I just think it's a little ridiculous to give that power to an 8-year-old.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. On top of just the doubling rates of this amongst Gen Z, you know?
Right.
1 out of 5 Gen Zers identify as a part of this community, where our generation, millennials, is 1 out of 10. Yeah. 1 out of 10. So all the empirical data says that 20% of the population is not LGTB. It's just not. It's not a nature. It's not that high. As someone that was assaulted as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
And then told that I was gay as a kid, right? And then told, and then like was assaulted again, and all kinds of weird stuff happened way before I lost my virginity to a girl at age 11 or 12, something like that, 10 or 11. This stuff is not in a vacuum. Like, this impacts people. So if you're a kid today and someone's telling you, oh, you're gay, you get to be a part of this community that's celebrated and it's da-da-da-da-da, you don't know where people might end up. You know what I mean? You don't know what they might do and what irreversible decisions they might make on their body.
And this is something that particularly, you know, played out your way. You know, you know, like with you, it was SA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with somebody else, they literally wake up with a certain desire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what we're pointing people to is a life-changing relationship with God.
Yes.
That changes desires.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that give you the strength to fight against desires.
Yep.
You know?
It's good. It's good.
And so it's you know, just because there's gonna be a person to be like, oh man, you know, you're assuming that everyone that has an SA experience like you, you know what I'm saying, is going to have these inclinations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You're right. I would say that if you get SA'd as a kid today,
Yeah.
and then you're told that you are this today,
Yeah.
and you're confused about how you feel in your body today, the likelihood of you leaning into the identity is probably way higher today because it's celebrated and promoted and championed.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's an interesting take. There's a level of acceptance and a feeling of family that they provide to people
Yeah. Yep.
that Christians are not.
Yeah. Yeah. Some Christians are not.
That some Christians are not.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know, I'll be more specific. Some Christians are not, and I have a friend of mine who's deaf. You know, and for him, the people that he felt most loved by,
Yeah.
you know, and most seen by were people in the LGBT. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That would be an interesting study. I bet you there's no surveys for it because it would be completely politically incorrect. What is the correlation between men who were SA'd, boys who were SA'd, and how many of them end up growing up to be same-sex attracted?
yeah, and a lot of these things have an effect.
Yeah. By the way, because if I'm gonna just use my anecdotal experience, that's why I say it'd be interesting. I don't know a single person I don't know any men that are same-sex attracted that weren't SA'd as a kid. I don't know a single one.
And that, you know, and that's in your personal experience.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is anecdotal. I'm not saying it's empirical.
It's anecdotal, but when you have a sexual experience for the first time, it has ramifications. Not ramifications, but it has an effect on the chemistry of your brain. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and that's just facts.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like, yeah, so you know, it's not wild for me to believe that some people that have been SA'd, you know, would lean this way sometimes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even then, you know,
Even if that didn't happen.
even if that didn't happen,
Yep.
and a lot of what we're saying is for people who are saying that they're Bible-believing Christians as well.
Yeah.
You know, these are not judgments towards people who are not Bible-believing people, by the way. I've been SA'd and I've never had an attraction or a situation where I've ever wanted to be with a dude or anything like that.
Right.
But what I will say, what I will say is that I would have hated to go through my SA in this time.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Because there was a moment where I wasn't attracted to anybody. You know, when your uncle comes by and says, "Hey, is there a girl that you like in your school?" And I'm like, "No." You know?
So it distorted you that way.
It distorted me that way. You know, my uncle's, "Oh, well, what about a boy? You know, maybe there's a boy." And I'll be like, "No."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. See, for me, it was the opposite. I was SA'd, which then allowed that to happen multiple times in multiple scenarios, and then I discovered virginity, and then that was like, oh, okay, like, wow, you know what I mean? This is where it's at 11, 10, 11, and then porn, and then that completely did me in.
And also,
So it was like an over amplified reality as a kid.
yeah, and think about this. Maybe there was something there, and I'll ask you this, you know what I mean? Because this is very interesting to me. You know, how much of it was to like prove to other people that you're not that?
No, it wasn't that.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't that. It was just, I'm a kid. This happens.
Yeah.
Then there's always like the older boys around, which apparently is like,
'Cause-
I heard that's not that uncommon. When there's a cluster of boys that are unchecked and exposed to pornography, and some of them are older, the older ones will take advantage of the younger ones.
Yeah.
And take advantage of them in that way. So I've heard that, like, that's not a Western thing. That's like where there's older boys, younger boys, and porn, that's what tends to happen.
Wow.
You know what I mean? This happened, and then I was like, oh, like this is what this was designed. This is what this is. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys follow Ray Rock on all social media.
I am Ray Rock.
I am
Twitter,
Ray Rock.
Instagram.
Yes, and hopefully we have him back. Hopefully we'll get him to start doing his own show. We're going to be working on, he got some of his equipment, so me and Zach going to be working with him tomorrow.
I need some space.
Yeah, and maybe he'll be back tomorrow as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you enjoyed this stream, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to go the extra mile, and partner with us in our online community for as little as $5 a month, get the replay of these daily streams completely unedited, access to our podcast before they hit the internet, access to our private Discord, discount code for our store, all for $5 a month to keep us independent, ultimately answering to you and only you, and never having to take a brand deal and make goofy commercials like these.
Our friends at Genucel Skincare have exciting news to celebrate in 2023.
Using Manscaped during my showers after workout has given me much more confidence.
And that's where Mudwater comes in.
True Classic has got your back.
All thanks to the sponsor of today's video, SayMine.com.
Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Laird or Lady. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 7.99% APR to 19.99% APR, included 0.50% auto pay discount.
If you don't want us to make ads with brands you don't care about, sign up for our online community for as little as $5 a month to keep us independent and ultimately answering to you as our boss. You get all sorts of benefits like daily replays of our after party streams, exclusive access to our Discord community, and early access to our podcast interviews, all starting for only $5 a month.